Hello and welcome to Game and Chat Lite. I am your host Mike and I am joined by Barry Dunn of Impact Game Station and Pete Beckett of Rapid Reviews Radio Podcast.
Hola.
Hola. Whoop whoop. So obviously, why have I got the gang together for this video? Well, because we got the Donkey Kong Bananza Direct, which aired earlier today on Nintendo's respective YouTube channels, and of course we have some thoughts. So to start off, Barry, seeing as if you have the notes, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Direct and what you enjoyed about it?
My audio is okay, thankfully, so hopefully it is. We had the Direct, and of course, well, actually a while back there was a leak of Pauline in the game, but it was officially revealed today that Pauline is in the game, and which is quite cool. But it's interesting to see that we have a young Pauline now, not like modern day as we would see her in like Odyssey, but a young Pauline by the looks of it. So what I'm gathering is that it looks like somewhat of a prequel to like Super Mario Odyssey, potentially. So we've seen like Cranky Kong, Rambi, Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, and of course, like Amiibo was revealed as well. An absolutely beautiful piece of Amiibo for collectors. Absolutely lovely. We've seen stuff like different special powers, the ancient gods, as they are, showcased, like flying like an ostrich. Perhaps there as well. Different like runes in the games, from what I can see. There's the DK artist mode, where you can actually like clay, like these are like sculpture, like out of a rock, different models, etc.
That's right.
And costumes, and of course, well, music in general for Donkey Kong. Old music and new music by the sounds of it.
Yes, we did.
So,
I mean, in the Direct, we did get a number of samples of, like, David Wise's, like, the Jungle Japes. Now, Jungle Japes was David Wise, wasn't it?
Yeah, so from Donkey Kong Country, from the SNES. Yeah.
That's the one. And then, obviously, we had the DK rap in there as well. Whether they're actually in the game, I would have thought so, because why would you use, samples of music from other games to promote, well, basically this game? So obviously the big thing is, will they be credited for it?
No, we'll have to see. Probably not. Probably not.
Probably not. Right, so we're going to go over to Pete. Now, Pete, you've actually played the game, you've played the demo, but you were not overly wowed by this Direct whatsoever. So please share your thoughts with us. And while you do that, I am going to change my camera over because it's a bit weird for me.
Sure.
Hold on.
Okay, so I was going into this knowing full well that I wasn't the biggest fan of what I played at the Nintendo Experience before the Switch 2 had come out. I liked the concept, but I think there was a lot of technical issues with the game itself. Button mapping being a considerable one, and also frame rate. The game looks very pretty in motion, but it's the frame rate that has a massive issue for me. So I went into this thinking, am I going to see something that's a little bit more substantial to what I'd seen? And feature-wise, yes, it is, but I'm still not blown away by it. Obviously, being a live-streamed version and a 4K rendering of it, which will be native on the docked version, is nice to look at, but it's not going to give a significant showing of what the frame rate's could be like at launch. Let's be honest, when the Switch first came out, Breath of the Wild had certain areas that had some really particularly bad frame rates. Mario Odyssey had a few kingdoms like New Donk City and the Luncheon Kingdom that had subpar frame rates. So it's not out of the realms of possibility that it could improve, but with a lot of stuff going on screen, especially with the destructible environments, I've still got a feeling that this is not going to be optimized very well. And I didn't see enough in this presentation that really wowed me. and it's no fault of the game whatsoever. It's just the fact that I'm now a bit bummed out by the fact that this was high up on the priority list for me as one of the games that I highlighted that I wanted to play at that event, and it just didn't deliver for me at all. So it's always going to be hard to claw me back, but some of the stuff they showed was quite nice. The sculpture mode I thought was quite cool. The little musical nods and certain stuff that they have with the gameplay, such as the callback to the minecart levels and stuff like that. I really like it, but I think the general gameplay is just not going to draw me in at all, and I just wasn't that blown away by Pauline either. I'm sort of starting to get the fatigue. It's sort of like the same thing that Rosalina had. It's like after Galaxy, they started filtering her into everything, and now it's the same with Pauline. It's like we had her in Odyssey. She'd been forgotten about for 30 years, and let's just go, oh, we just remembered she's a thing. Let's just put her in everything now. And it's sort of like, oh, okay.
Well, I suppose it's like, you know, they added her to Odyssey because obviously it was a kickback to, obviously, you know, Mario's Origins as well, and then like New Donk City, and then, you know, there's the festival, isn't there, the music festival with like, you know, shout outs and callbacks to, you know, like the series Donkey Kong and, you know, how far Mario's come. And then it's like, oh, Nintendo are thinking, oh, people actually like this character, we should stick her in everything. So then, you know, Mario Tennis, boom. Mario Golf, boom. The Strikers one as well. And, you know, absolutely
She's in
everything.
Jamboree now as well.
Jamboree, yes. I mean, I quite like her as a character. You know, it's always nice to have, you know, new and refreshing characters. I mean, I would say, did they shoehorn her into Mario versus Donkey Kong? I'm not too sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was in it, because I think she is in the series.
Probably is, but I don't know.
That's yeah. I mean, like I said, I quite like her as a character. I am pleased that even though she's in this game, and obviously, you know, people saying that, you know, Barry said earlier that it had been leaked already, but I'm happy that it's not just another baby character. I mean, at least this is a kid, or this is a child, or whatever, or teenager. We don't exactly know the age of the character, but it's not your typical baby Mario, baby Luigi, and, you know, that kind of thing that we've had in like Mario Kart and tennis and absolutely everything else.
It could be worse. It could be Pink Gold.
Pink Gold Peach, Pink Gold Baby Peach.
What's that?
Pink Gold Baby Peach, Pink Gold Baby Rosalina, or whatever. I don't know. Just Jesus. There's some crappy characters, isn't there?
There is, and they're basically all just like to fill out the roster, and you think, but you got so many characters, but you didn't need to do that. But anyway. Speaking of which, shall we go for a little actual, you know, ride around, and then Barry, we're going to go back to you, because obviously, you know, Pete's bummed us all out now, so we need to get some positivity back and, you know, get some hype for the game.
Excuse me, Mike. I'm a Nintendo fan, but I'm a realist.
Look, to be fair, it does require to have both sides. I mean, there are going to be people, you're not alone, Pete, there are going to be people that are, you know, on the fence, on the side, and think, actually, do you know what? I was expecting more from this, to be fair. And, you know, I mean, games are supposed to be playable, and if it's got poor performance, especially when they're boasting, you know, like all these updates for Nintendo Switch games that'll be able to work so much better on Switch 2, and it's like, yeah, but like your first real big exclusive Switch 2 game, and it don't work on the system. That's not good, is it? So,
not really, no.
Anyway, so Barry, over to you.
Yes.
Give us some hype.
So, the hype is that that we have someone here who is the realest person in the room. Donnie, be good.
Yes.
Actually, speaking of, here's something positive. Look straight ahead of you. What do you see?
Mario Circuit.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, of course, a throwback to Super Mario Kart, which has amazing tracks, amazing music. Yeah, I guess with what you're saying, Pete, right? Can I ask you? So, with the experience from you had at the London event, of course it was like a tech demo as such. Like it was a demo of the game running.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. was there much of a difference from what you've seen today on today's direct?
So actually, what we played was the opening area of the game. So it's basically like the soft opening of it. So you start. So when the game was first revealed and you saw the underground level, I think when we had the treehouse stuff, that was what we played. That was the demo that we had, and I'd say like I would say it looks somewhat slightly more polished, but it's always going to be hard to judge a frame rate based on a YouTube compressed video.
Yeah,
And it's obviously going to be a showing of a game that they're going to want to show off quite well, which is what I thought was going to happen with the London event, to be fair, but they didn't put their best foot forward, in my opinion.
Yeah. I did notice, I guess, sorry, not to bring it down, but like, I guess from a technical aspect, lads, I did see some, what was it? Sorry, I have some notes here. Yeah. There was some slight dips in frame rate performance overall. And like you could see the change of performance, you know, like going from actual gameplay to like even photo mode, like the 30 FPS kicking in like that, you know. But it's like it doesn't seem as smooth as you think it should be. You get me?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, some gameplay areas looks to be like, so you know, we're getting a bit of a kick, from the behind of performance overall with frame rate. But overall, I think it looks like a very pretty game. I'm happy to see the inclusion today of Cranky Kong, Rambi, Diddy Kong, and of course Dixie, because I feel like it was needed to be shown. Because if people, you know, wondering like where is everyone else? You know, where's the like the family etc. of the Kongs? But I feel like I personally think if those characters weren't in the game, people may not even pick it up, because like we all know and love those characters, you know, for years now. So like they are essential to the Donkey Kong, well, bloodline we'll call it.
They are, except for Kiddy Kong, because nobody cares about Kiddy Kong.
Don't be cruel.
Yeah, but where was he? Where was he?
Or she.
He wasn't here.
I want to know where Funky Kong is. I want me Funky Kong mode.
See, there you go. Maybe
Probably
we'll
still
see
in
Funky
Tropical
Kong
Freeze
in a plane somewhere. Yeah. But I liked the throwbacks, well, potential throwbacks to different characters, like different, like the special powers, right? You know, like the ancient gods. So, like I mentioned before about having the ostrich. You know, if you get the ostrich power, like you can fly. But I wonder, like, were those like animals in the game, like maybe like thrown out? You know, like ideas from before, from years ago, like even stuff from like DKC on the SNES. Like I found like the zebra gameplay, like the character model, etc., was very Madagascar from
it was a little bit. Yeah.
It was, to be fair,
similar.
maybe not the actual like when Donkey Kong's transformation, but like the NPC characters, they did have that very very big like Madagascar kind of vibe to them. Oh yes.
Yeah, like that very like distinct shape with the head and stuff. You know, the kind of if you know what I'm. Yeah, exactly. I love the fact that we have compatible amiibo with the game, and we're getting a new amiibo for the game as well. Interesting, I did mention to you before, Mike, interesting that the K. Rool amiibo was mentioned as well as compatible for the game, like for like whatever bonus that you get. I can't remember exactly, sorry. But I wonder, will we see like a potential throwback to K. Rool as an enemy in the game? Who knows? Is he behind everything, or is he just there as a function in the game? You know, some sort of special.
I think he's just a function solely for the amiibo. I think the problem is that if you remember the history of DKC, Nintendo weren't exactly impressed at Rare at the time with that game, and I think they've tried to move away from King K. Rool ever since the DKC series.
Yeah.
So it might be that's one of those cutting room floor ones that they stick well out to the side and go, well, that's Rare's property or Rare's creation, let's just leave it there.
Yeah. But I think the Donkey Kong world will be very empty without K. Rool in general and his villains.
Well, yeah, the Gremlins.
The Kremlins,
Well, I
yeah.
was going to say, yeah, we had Donkey Kong Country Returns. We had the what was it? I can't even remember what the villains were in that game.
Like birds or something, was it? Or what was it? I can't remember
Like
exactly.
tikis,
Penguins.
there's one that's got like
Oh, the
tiki
tikis,
things in
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Then you got the
Yeah,
other one with like
and
the
then-
Viking walruses or whatnot. That's Tropical
Yeah,
Freeze.
so
Mm.
yeah, so not nearly as memorable from Retro as it was from Rare, because the Kremlins are just iconic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he was worthy enough to get into Smash. You know what I mean? So.
Oh,
You never
that was
know.
just because the fans voted on it, we had to put him in.
True.
I think Nintendo really wanted to put him in.
No, of course they
Yeah.
didn't. But you know, they can't just like sweep it under the rug. It's like, oh no, we're gonna just retcon this. Nobody remembers King K. Rool, and it's like, actually, no, we do. That's
Well,
the thing.
they can, because they've done it since 2000
True.
with Donkey Kong 64.
True.
Yeah.
And that was the last time that Rare worked on a Donkey Kong game.
Yeah. Now, there was one thing, lads, that would nearly like cracked me up, because remember the costumes in the game that you could choose from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the words, I have to be careful how you say this, was actually britches. I had to read it twice.
Yeah, I did see
B-R-I-T-C-H.
that.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Did I see that correctly?
I had to
But-
double take on it. I was watching it on a tablet
Yeah.
whilst I was working. I was like, hang on a
Yeah.
minute. Oh.
Is
Oh,
my
no, it
eyesight
does say what I
failing
think
me?
it
I'm
said.
pretty sure that says something else. Yeah.
My eyesight was failing me. I am old.
Yeah. The two-player mode overall, like the game share is interesting. Like you can use like a right Joy-Con for Pauline to like shoot like words like rocks, you know, different
Yes.
areas. But
That-
you can do the same for like a second Switch, you know, Switch 1 or Switch 2 by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm guessing with the analog stick perhaps like that,
So
or
it's very much like in Super Mario Odyssey, like with Cappy, or in like Captain
Very
Toad
similar to
Treasure
how it's Galaxy
Tracker.
as well.
Yeah, in Galaxy, that's very
Yeah.
true. In fact, it's probably more
Yeah.
akin to Galaxy, where you can
Yeah.
shoot
I'd say-
the crystals.
Yeah,
Or,
it's using the star bits.
that's the one.
sorry bits, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. So obviously, the second, mind you, it's a little bit in like Bowser's Fury as well, isn't it? Bowser Jr. I mean, obviously, you point and you say, go over there, and he'll attack an enemy
Oh
or
yeah,
something
in
like that.
3D world,
And I
yeah.
think the
I
two-player
never
mode
played Bowser's
has
Fury
a
that much.
bit more freedom in the actual character itself. But yeah, it does seem this much. It's very like, asymmetric two-player, I suppose. So obviously, player one is very much in control of everything, and like player two is like, okay, well, point here and shoot, point here and shoot, which not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's gives you some inclusion, but especially like with other Donkey Kong games where you could actually like Donkey Kong Country Returns, which obviously released on the Nintendo Switch. Was it earlier this year or end of last year?
January this year.
It was
January this year,
And it's like you can play Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, both on the same screen and running around or whatever. And then it's like we're going back on ourselves again to the style of gameplay. Like, well, I'm playing, but you're just like over my shoulder and you just shoot at some things. But at least it has that
Yeah.
inclusion, I suppose. So if you're like playing with young children or whatever, and you want to get them into like video games, especially like in Barry's case, for example, I'm sure his boys will be more than happy to play with Dad. They'll just be fighting to take it in turns with who plays with Dad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
possibly.
Your mic is gone. Mike?
Oh
Sorry,
no,
not
everything
your mic,
just shut
camera.
Mike's
down.
mic is good.
Mike's mic is gone.
I'm here. Oh,
Yeah.
it has cut out, hasn't it?
Yeah,
No,
there
I
we go.
meant the camera just went.
Ah,
It just
okay. Right,
decided
gotcha.
to clap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something
I
about an
think
unstable
the
connection
biggest-
came up, and it's like, but I'm connected to a LAN, so what the hell?
Yeah.
I could go into that in full details. We won't do that on this.
That'll be
discussion.
for another
Yeah.
episode. But like
Yeah.
with Game Share as well. Now, Game Share, if you haven't tried it yet, is done in two parts. So you can share it on a separate console, like as they were saying. Like, so you got your Nintendo Switch 2, and you can share it to a Nintendo Switch locally. And then you have the game share through game chat. So like what we're doing right now, as to show an example, if you haven't seen any videos, like for example, if I go 51 worldwide games, and then I wanted to, you know, share it with you, we could be playing this game. You don't have to own it. I can just send it to you and you can play the game with me right now. And that's what you'll be able to do with Donkey Kong Bonanza as well. So even if, you know, your friend doesn't have the game, whoever obviously is sharing the game will play as Donkey Kong, and the other person will be, you know, Pauline. So like for example, I've just done that, and then you will see in your corner, if you go to your game chat, it'll come up with a little icon in the corner saying Mike's invited you to play this game. You don't have to, you know, select it or anything, but that's how game share is done.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. I think the biggest surprise for me today was actually the inclusion of the DK artist mode.
Yes. Which made me think of
Absolutely
Kev
beautiful.
Bayless as soon as they said that, the DK artist. And it's like, Kev Bayless. He is the DK artist.
Yeah. So, like, the fact that you can, like, you know, mold, well, these rock, you know, whatever models you want to do. Like, the Mario face come up.
Yes.
Donkey Kong. Who was it? Bowser as well, wasn't it?
Bowser.
I think.
And a pizza. Yeah.
The pizza, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
the
guess
bird
the
as
way it's
well.
going to work is that obviously any stuff that you collect over the course of the game world will be added as an inventory to that.
Yeah. But it'd be interesting. I'm sure we'll get some touchscreen support for that there. That's my guess. Even pointing, you know, like motion controls for that there. From molding.
Or mouse.
But your mouse, yeah, exactly.
I think they did. Didn't they not say that it had mouse controls
There were
involved
mouse
in it?
controls, I think, for when you use
There was
play as
that was for
Pauline.
game share. So for
Oh,
player
okay.
2, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would imagine mouse controls will be usable on that artist mode as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, camera,
Mike,
keeps
you need
cutting
to
out.
test it out if you've still got the old stylus that you got once before.
Yes, I do
Then
have a
try it
stylus
out
with
on and see if it
Mario Maker, so I'll have to try that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
I
got
have to
it,
try
yeah.
the Mario Maker one.
Yeah.
There you go, giving you video ideas, guys.
Oh no!
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah, good man. He's a good man. Right, well, folks, I think
where are
that
you, by
will
the way?
do us for
Peace.
this video. So if you've got
I'm
any
right behind
final
you, mate.
thoughts, share them now. So Barry, if you've got any final thoughts.
No, I'm just glad I have the game pre-ordered for just under £57, you know, overall, which is quite good. I ordered in, when was it? April or May? Can't remember exactly when. But I think, well, for the price, it's worth it. It seems like it's going to be like a good enough game. Maybe we'll see more content just before launch, like some new things, new modes or whatever. But no, I'm happy overall with the experience from today's Direct. You know, it was quite good. I was pleasantly surprised with it. Yeah. And thank you again.
Pete?
Yeah, not as sold as you guys are. I have it pre-ordered, so I'm probably part of the problem as much as everyone else as well. But I pre-ordered it long before this. I pre-ordered it even before I think before I played the demo anyway, or I had it intentionally going to be bought. Everything that was shown today hasn't necessarily filled me with a lot of confidence. A couple of things, like I said, are interesting enough to keep me engaged, but I didn't mention it actually on the main episode, is that I think the inclusion of RPG-like elements, like with the powering up and the leveling up, it's just not something that I'm really going to be that engaged with. I think it's something that I find quite dull generally within games, and I just don't think it.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's like in Super Mario Wonder, isn't it, when they added the badges? And I think it's like that kind of thing they're going back to.
But to be honest, I never used those anyway, so it never really was that big of a deal to me.
No. To be fair, I didn't use them very much either. Maybe like the wall jump or something. Depends, but you know, I don't know. Oh, I've just been hit by a police car.
Amazing. And I got kicked out of the room, but it's fine.
You got kicked out of your own room.
I know, Nintendo's shocking servers.
Oh well. Well, thank you both of you for joining me for this video and for sharing your thoughts and opinions. It's good to get.
Hang on.
What?
We haven't really heard anything about your thoughts, though, have we?
Oh no, this isn't about me. This is about you guys.
No, this is about you, mate. Come on.
Oh right, okay then. Well, okay. I was quite
channel.
happy to see, Pauline being added to the game. Although I do feel a little bit bad that, it's like, okay, but, Diddy Kong has always been like Donkey Kong's right-hand man or whatever. He's always been in there. And Pauline's basically just like pushed him to one side, shoehorned herself in. It's like going to do exactly what Diddy Kong
Diddy
would do.
Kong then.
Yeah. But I'm interested to see how it goes. I mean, you've put me on a bit of a fence. Now, I don't have the game pre-ordered. I was just going to pick it up, or if my uncle at Nintendo decides to send me the game, well then... I'm supposed to be on the list. We'll see. I'm probably shooting myself in the foot here. If not, well then I'll just have to pick it up myself.
Yeah, for the costly old sum of £65 physical.
Ouch.
Probably.
Ouch. So, I mean... I'm looking forward to the game either way. Obviously, I'm erring a little bit with like performance because obviously I don't want to play a game that's like really, really rough. And hopefully, there are going to be some fixes to performance, and it's not going to be as bad as in the demo that you played. I was actually hoping for a demo to come, be announced at the end of the video and say, oh yeah, if you want to try the game now, then try it now. Unfortunately, Donnie has left us, so Pete's left us. Probably had problems with his internet, and not only did he get kicked out of the room, he's been kicked out of the chat as well. So I didn't do that. That's Nintendo's fantastic servers. While Barry is bouncing super enthusiastically behind me. I was wondering what was going on there. Oh dear. Personal space, Barry. Personal space. Boundaries.
It's a safe space.
Give me my safe space. But yeah, so I mean, I'm relatively looking forward to it. Hopefully, it's not going to be as bad as like the demo itself was at the event, the Nintendo Switch 2 experience. We'll just have to see. I mean, I'm definitely gonna play it regardless, and then hope. Oh, that was a blast and a half, Barry. You just flew across the
I could have got a
screen.
costume, but I didn't.
It blew your costume off.
Yes.
But anyway, that is going to do me for this video. Thank you very much, guys, for coming along. And until next time, everyone, keep on gaming.